What's something about marriage that no one talks about? When I met Damien, it was like fireworks were going off in my entire body. He was exactly the man I had been manifesting since I was a teenage girl, so I was willing to work through any issue that came up, except for one, his stepson, Trevor. I had faith that Damien would be understanding if I brought it up, but I wanted to figure it out myself. But nothing I did ever seemed to work, because, well, quite frankly, he was a man-child. At this point, he was 22, still living with Damien, unemployed, no plans for the future. One Saturday, I spent 4 hours making us 3 homemade pizzas each, so by the time we all finished eating, I was exhausted. Naturally, I asked Damien and Trevor if they wouldn't mind cleaning up. There was a lot to do, so 2 sets of hands was entirely necessary. Of course, beautiful, Damien said. Lo and behold, half an hour later when they should have been finished, I could still hear the dishes clattering in the kitchen, and when I went downstairs, I was faced with Trevor manspreading on the couch, with an e-cigarette popping in and out of his mouth. I simply asked why he wasn't helping his father. His response could only be likened to a 5-year-old not getting a cookie from the cookie jar. He jolted up, stomped his foot on the floor and said, "Don't tell me what to do," before trudging up the stairs. That's when Damien barged in. "You're my wife, not his mother. Don't let this happen again." But this was just one example of his entitlement. He is now 24, and things have only gotten worse. Eventually, my stubbornness wore out, and I brought his extremely recurring behavior up to Damien. "He's an adult. If you don't like how he lives, ignore him," was always his response, which soon escalated to, "You always find something to complain about when it comes to him." So, as you can imagine, our relationship has definitely been strained due to Trevor's need to be coddled, even after I moved in with them. But 2 weeks ago, what little we had left completely fell apart. I had just come home from working a double shift, and Damien and Trevor created an intervention for me. "You're not pulling your weight in this house, and it's putting unwanted stress onto Trevor." I stared at Damien, genuinely holding back a laugh. "You can't just help to tidy the public areas of the house. You should be helping to clean Trevor's room with me." I swear I thought they were pranking me, but that's when I turned to Trevor and asked if he would do something in exchange, like getting a job, any job for instance. He then looked at me with a completely straight face and said, "Would you have asked your newborn baby to pay you for feeding them?" Exactly. I shouldn't have to earn the basic necessities of life. I saw red. He knew I had just had a miscarriage, that I was deemed infertile. And when I turned to Damien, he just sat there with his arms crossed while nodding. I knew if I stayed on that couch, I would do something that I'd regret. So I left the house and went on a walk. In the week following, me and Damien became glorified roommates. Well, yesterday evening, Trevor finally wasn't home, and I had the day off. So I decided to clean the entire house. I know this sounds weird, but it's something I genuinely enjoy. I even wiped down the windows, polished the floors, dusted the door frames, used a lint roller on the lampshades. I felt like Monica from Friends. And when I was done, I got to bathe in that post-clean euphoria. I felt like a princess. And aside from waking up at 4 a.m. to the sound of Trevor slamming the front door, I slept like one too. But when I woke up, the entire house smelled awful, like someone had rubbed cow dung all across the walls. And when I got out of bed, I found out why. You see, there was filthy, disgustingly unclean laundry sprawled all across the floors downstairs, and it produced an aroma so strong that it literally reached my bedroom. There was spilled hot sauce, a tin of tuna without a lid splattered everywhere. The air smelled like moldy sour cream. Stale gum covered the mantelpiece. I screamed and went to wake up my husband, who gagged at the smell. He had this look of anxiety on his face and instantly took the blame. "Oh yeah, that was me. I had a lot of beers last night and took things too far." I just stared at him. He tried to stop me from going into Trevor's room, but he couldn't. And when we opened the door, we were hit with the stench of the devil's lettuce. I didn't say anything. Damien just sighed and turned around. As soon as he walked out, I walked into his room. I quietly stole his gaming console, the one I paid 50% for, and sold it. Trevor woke up that same day to the sound of a maid hoovering his room. He smirked and condescendingly thanked me because he thought he had won. But when he found out what paid for it, he wasn't so happy anymore. What he did next was so unpredictable that no one could have seen it coming. But then he realized I could play him at his own game, and things finally changed. For good. I can't tell you what happened next in this video. The full story is on my channel.